Yeah, hello everybody. This is Ryan here with you today. This is today the April 9th, up here in Rogers, Minnesota today. I've been pushing on pretty hard for about the last month or so with this whole coronavirus, COVID, whatever they want to call it these days. It's been pretty busy, so I kind of wanted to go into the state of trucking with all this going on and how it is for the drivers, operators, and and also the consumers too. But let's kind of jump right into it. Like I said, it's been really busy. I know I've been on the board. I've seen rates go up 30 to 50 cents. So it's a good time to be on the road if you want to make some money. Fuel prices are also really cheap right now, and that's in part if you've been kind of watching what's going on with the Saudis and also OPEC and the Russians. They've had, if you don't know what's going on, kind of in the past, they've kind of worked together to control their oil production and kind of keep prices a little bit higher. And there was kind of a falling out between those two countries and OPEC, and they just opened up the valve and then started pumping and pretty much collapsed the price of oil. So that's why we've seen these cheap gas prices and cheap diesel prices. I mean, on average, with my discount at your TAs and Petros, where I usually get the best discount with Landstar, Comdata network, I've been paying anywhere from $1.60, $1.70 all the way down to in the $1.30s with that discount. So it's pretty well, my fuel costs have dropped close to 40-50%. I just did a run out did a load of cleaning supplies from Ohio out to Seattle, sanitizer and that type of stuff for a cleaning supply company out there. And usually I take out $1,200 for my fuel on that run, and so I went in and took out $1,200, and I think I ended up towing it for I was sitting with a full tank of fuel for my next load, and I had only spent $900. So, and substantial savings. So I mean, you're seeing higher rates right now, and plus you're saving that much on fuel. The bad part of that is I think once everything, and a lot of these rates are because of the panic buying, which I think is nonsense in this case. There's no actual shortages, it's all artificial. Basically, these grocery stores, your Walmarts and all that, Target, they don't have a big warehouse in the back of the store. Basically what you see on the shelves are basically what they have, and they only have enough for a couple days, and they depend on, we call it just in time, JIT freight, and that's exactly what it is that when they sell out, they don't have storage. They have a truck that comes in with the restock. And and all of this is based on logistics programs, supply systems, that every time when you buy something, they scan that UPC, or you have the self checkout and you scan that, there's an inventory control system that tracks all that data, and there's an algorithm, and that's what orders, puts together these orders and reorders stuff to replenish the stock. So when people are coming in and shocking the system, it screws everything up, and it's just a matter of the warehouses and everywhere I've been, even factories, people, food plants, toilet paper factory, all this stuff, everything's still running. And the warehouses are full. It's just a matter of everybody going and buying all this stuff at once for no reason, and it shocks the systems, and then it takes a while for the logistics to catch up. And the problem with my business, or the trucking business, is that once it does catch up, like I said, we got really good rates and everything right now, and it's really busy. I mean, I can pretty well do what I want, but I'm starting to see things on my searches on the Landstar board. I got another load. I've already got, but I had one cancel, but I'll get in that in a minute. But so like I said, everything is pretty good right now, but I think we're eventually going to hit a cliff once all this catches up. And then the demand's going to drop off once everybody comes to their senses, and then there's probably going to be a month or 6 weeks, I think, where it's going to take everything to kind of catch back up again after the surge, that we're going to drop down, and then it'll start working back up. So that's why I'm out here. I went home for 3 days, and I've been out I'll be home on Saturday. What is it, the 11th? So yeah, almost 3 weeks, and I stayed home for 3 days before I went out. After that, before this run, and I'm basically going back on the road on Wednesday because I'm going to try to get one more good West Coast run in. But I had a load I had booked out of Middlefield, Ohio for Craft Make Cabinets, which has always been a good customer of mine, and they're local. It's drop and hook pickup, pay pretty well, and I actually had that load going out to Billings, Montana, delivered on the 20th of April, and it ended up canceling on me. But luckily I was kind of watching the board, and like within 30 seconds there was another load of ag chemicals that popped up out by Toledo, going out to to Pittsburgh, California, right out, kind of the Bay Area out there, and at a pretty good rate and decent load. So I went ahead and snapped that up, and picking that up on Wednesday. So it was a little bit sooner than I wanted to go out, but like I said, in the times, kind of wanted to keep running. So that's kind of what's going on out here. It's been a little bit difficult. A lot of the restaurants and stuff, they're only doing the takeout. I mean, as far as getting, I take my own food and stuff, and I ran out of, I take 2 cases of water with me normally, and I've been making my own coffee because they're not letting you take your own coffee mugs in. I mean, even though you're going to be touching everything, so that kind of annoys me. Then they want to charge you for a cup when they're telling you can't refill your cup. So I just went to Walmart and I bought me one of those little $10 coffee makers and bag of coffee, and I've probably saved $20-30 on this trip just making my own coffee. So I'll probably stick with that once, even after this is all over and things go back to normal, because I think it's better coffee anyways. So that's been a hassle. There's been about the same amount of traffic. What I noticed, you would think a lot of people would be staying at home, but it seems like a lot of people are out running around. When there's signs that we're stay at home, it's just a lot of the 4-wheeler civilians out here running around. So it's kind of a little frustrating. And another thing that I've seen that is kind of off to me, I see these people driving down the road wearing these rubber gloves, and I don't know what the thought process is there. I mean, I can understand you want to protect yourself. You get out of your vehicle, put your gloves on, you go into a place, and then do what you got to do and come back out. But I don't know why you would wear those gloves and get into your vehicle, because then you're going to be touching your steering wheel with everything you just touched. You're touching your buttons in your car, you're touching your phone, you're touching your steering wheel, your door. And if you don't take those off before you get in, you're just bringing all that in here. So you pretty much completely blew the point of that. So I've seen a lot of people driving down the road with wearing gloves in their car, or I see them come, even some of the drivers, I see them wearing them into the truck stop, and then they come back out and they get right back in. So I mean, I don't, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me there. But other than that, I'm not I don't claim to be a medical professional or anything like that. I'm kind of a numbers person. I've been kind of watching the numbers on this thing, and kind of compared with other things, I'm more concerned about the financial fallout and the collateral damage from that. I think that's probably going to destroy a lot more lives out here than what the actual virus does. I mean, if you compare it with, even the flu, I think last year in the US, if you go to the CDC's website, they had roughly 35 million cases. In the US, about 19 million people, that was estimated, 35 million, 19 million people, I think, actually went in to see a doctor or a hospital. Out of them, I think there was close to 500,000 people were hospitalized, and unfortunately, I think there was just under 40,000 people that actually passed away. And the thing about the flu, I mean, a lot of people say this isn't the flu and all that, but the thing about the flu is that we've known about the flu for a long time. It changes every year, but we have a vaccine. We know when it's going to come. We prepare for it, and we still have that many cases. And unfortunately, you lose that many people, or people get that sick. That 500,000 people go to the hospital. So and kind of what we're seeing with this, with something we don't really know a lot about. We weren't prepared for it, and we don't have a vaccine for it, and they haven't really figured out what I guess there's a few treatments out there. So I mean, you're kind of looking at that and comparing it with something, and you see that many people getting, like I said, the regular flu, those numbers, and I said I could possibly, I mean, as much as I'm on the road, I've been California a couple times, been up to Washington, I've been up to Canada, down everywhere. So I mean, and I'm in and out of a lot of places. So I mean, there's a good possibility I could possibly, so they're saying 40% of people may not even have any symptoms, and I don't typically get the flu or anything. I can't remember the last. It's probably been a little kid since if I had the flu. I don't typically get those types of things. So So I'm just out here just continue doing my job and keeping things moving, and trying to help keep places, the supplies that people need. Somebody's got to stay out here and keep this stuff moving. But that's just kind of my 2 cents. And like I said, as far as the numbers and my thoughts, like I said, I'm not a professional. I just take what I see, and I just look at the numbers, the media, I just kind of ignore them, and make my own conclusion about things. And like I said, the other thing that gets me is like we lose 40,000 people in car wrecks in this country. As last year there was roughly 40,000, and that comes out to about 110 people a day, and most of those are 95% preventable. I mean, about these people are people driving down the road on their phone. They won't put the phones down and just focus on driving. They gotta drive like idiots, cutting in and out, going too fast for conditions. I don't think driving under the influence is as big as this problem as it used to be in this country, the way things have gone. Kind of de-glamorizing that. I think more of the problem is the distractions, and but yet people still, something you can control 100%. People still don't care. They don't worry about it, and you worry, you put all this fear into something that ultimately you can't control. It's kind of in nature's hands with getting sick or a virus in a lot of cases. You can take a lot of precautions, but ultimately there's not a whole lot you can do. Yet, like I said, 95% of wrecks and accidents and deaths out here are probably preventable. Unless there's cases where you have a mechanical failure, a tire will blow out, or brakes go out on something. That's some of those can be prevented, but a lot, it's just my thought. So, but like I said, that's kind of the state of trucking right now, and kind of my 2 cents. And like I said, I'm not trying to defend anybody or anything. Like I said, I just go off the numbers and kind of my own conclusions. And like I said, our hearts go out to people who are getting sick with this or with anything, and it's not a good thing. And hope we get through this quick and things get back to normal and go on with life. But thanks for watching, and take care, everybody.